Hello guys, Mark once again uh, from ACK St. Paul's Mokoine. I have two things to do. Ya kwanza niko na mgeni, I have a guest atatuambia jina yake na kenye anafanyanga kwa hii industry. So you'll introduce yourself and kenye unafanyanga basically.
Thank you so much. My name is James Njogu, and I'm a member of this church, St. Paul's Church Mokoyoine. I'm an elder, and I'm privileged to be here, as I also want to offer my point of view in whatever area of concern. I'm an IT consultant by profession, and I also into construction industry. So basically, that's who I am in brief.
So, Mr. Njogu,
Yes.
You have been seeing whatever has been going on through the socials, people rejecting the finance bill, others supporting. So, what's your view of the finance bill 2024-2025 in a church perspective? What would you say?
I think we are coming to a time when people are a bit strained, and I feel the government is putting so much burden on our people, on our citizens. And my point of view first would be the church needs to put their priorities right. I think it's basically less than 2 years since this government came to power, and they have already initiated so many things, so many projects, so many form of taxation. And I think it's a high time they need, first of all, to explain to the Kenyans what are these taxations all about, because we have witnessed scenarios where people are being taxed, but we don't see where that money is going to. So we can relate the money collected vis-a-vis the work done. And therefore, in my view, I think the government is putting so much pressure on our people. And from the church perspective, I feel there is a need for the government to consult before they pass any other bill. Let's have our participation. Let us get every person on board so that we all have an understanding. Because we have a history, and a very bad history in this country, where money is being collected and no project is done. Like now, I would want to reflect a bit. We have previous governments who've been there. They initiated big projects, very major projects, which were good for our country. But when this new government came in, they never finished the previous project. So the project stalled, money wasted. So if they can only consider the things that need to be done and put their priorities right, it can be, this country can go very far. Like now, the President Ruto was there in the previous regime, so he was in presidency, and so there were some projects that they initiated that time, and now he is the president of this country this time. So there are so many projects they started last regime, and they never finished. So those are projects who are just left to ruins. And now they are initiating new projects. So this is where Kenyans feel a bit burdened. And I think the government need to come slow, put their priorities right, and do the right thing and listen to the Kenyans. Because it is the Kenyans who are the stakeholders in this whole scenario. So I would urge the government, even from the church perspective, to firstly listen to the views of the people, bring them on board, let us all have a round table discussion and know what we can do and put some priorities. We can just tax. It is not even 2 years yet, and people are crying. So what about the next 3 years that this government will be in power? It is going to be a very tough moment for the Kenyans, and so I believe that we need to have a talk. We need to have a discussion. one-on-one, so that we know what is of urgency and what can wait, so that we build our country together as a team.
So, thank you for that. I have another question. What's your view on the whole Gen Z issue and protest and what na kile kinafanyika? What's your view?
Gen Z are our young people, and I think this country, we have a right to express our views and our concerns. And what Gen Z is just doing is to express their concerns. I know most of them are in school and they can see the way things are going. Most of them are jobless and they feel that the job industry is failing and the government is not doing much about it. Most of them are still wondering about. And so they look at the whole scenario like there's no future, because the government is not even prioritizing on how to create opportunities for these people to thrive. It is very shameful. I walked into one of the government plants, and I see machineries are just lying idle, and we have young people who can work in there and create more opportunities for more people. It is very unfortunate that the government is just watching and they just think that Gen Z are just a generation that is coming to pass. Gen Z is going to be here longer than most of us. And Generation Alpha is also on the way coming. So if we don't deal with the situation as it is now, then we are going to have a generation lineage that is going to make things so hard for the government and even the people in power. So I think the government first needs to listen to these people. The government needs to understand their plea. The government needs to understand their need. Because this is a generation that is not going to relent. And I can say this without even closing my eyes. This generation cannot relent. And the government needs to wake up, listen to them, and bring them on board, because they are part and parcel of this country in decision making. These are people who are knowledgeable. Some of us are in campus. Some of us have got very great abilities and talents. If the government can only tap these talents and build around them, then we are going to have a very major, this country is going to be a big thing to come. But the way things are going, the government needs to have a rethink. Gen Z is not joking. It's not joking, and it's not a joke. So the government needs to listen to these people and make some observations. I think the people in government who are talking about the bill, against the bill, I think they need also to have a rethink, because these are people who are elected by the same people who are on the street. They still go back to their constituents to talk to them. So they need first to listen. And I'm not in support of this financial bill because it's a bit of a burden and the government need to have a rethink. So Gen Z, they need to be listened to.
So thank you, Mr. John, for making time.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Asante.
So guys, consider subscribing to all our platforms, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube. Thank you.